Hey guys, welcome back. Been working on a base map a little bit for the Subaru. I've got pretty much all the wiring and everything situated. So just trying to get all the sensors, all the sensor data updated, make sure the fuel pumps work, the radiator or the radiator fans, just making sure that everything's kind of communicating and don't have any wiring issues. Ran into a few things. I am gonna make some changes on my fuel system. So right now I am running the iWire dual pump kit and the factory fuel pump controller. Gonna remove all of that, going direct with two relays to the M-Tron. I'm gonna have the M-Tron kind of control everything, kicking on the pumps when they need to be, rather than utilizing the factory fuel pump controller. So gonna pull that out, gonna rewire everything, and then test that, make sure that's good. You can see on the bench, this is kind of what I'm working with. Got my Surface Pro here. Ethernet going to the M-Tron and just basically testing everything there, making sure oil sensors, coolant sensors, throttle body, radiator fans, ethanol, pretty much all the sensors, making sure they're communicating and talking correctly, and then making any kind of adjustments as we need. So let's go to the back of the car. We'll start ripping everything out for the iWire, take you guys on that journey, get you up. May time lapse, not sure how long this project will take, but we'll run all new wires to the fuel hat. I am running the Radium dual pump, so we'll get the 10 gauge to each pump, and then I'll show you what I'm using for a relay package. Kind of I would say a different setup than what most people run. Most people just run the standard 5-pin relays. I am using a Leash product, so I'll show you guys what that looks like, how to wire that up, and we'll get that installed in the amp rack all nice and tidy. So this is what we got in the back. I've got my ground set up here. We've got power. And then we've got the circuit breaker for the fuel pumps. I've got my amp installed. Everything is behind the panel, so we're gonna have to rip this out, pull the lower seat up, get access to the fuel hat, and then kind of just make some changes on the wiring. So we'll get you guys up on the tripod and we'll go from here. All right, so gonna pop this out. Start pulling this. We have little pull tabs down here. That's how you pull the rear seat. That's it. All right, so this is kind of what I had ran so far. Got power and ground. Actually, I think, yeah, right there, blue and white. That is part of the iWire kit, so we will pull that out and just re-terminate these wires. All right, I think that's good. Go. Clip, 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 clip. We're good. All right, so I currently have, here, let's go ahead and cut these zip ties. So we got the blue, or I'm sorry, the red and the black. Blue wire is my remote turn on. Red and black is what we're using for the iWire. And I've got that ran down here, zip tie. So I've got these currently ran here into this connector. So call that good. Pull these out. Okay. All right, so we did have to remove the top portion by the window, and then we got to pull this out just a little bit, just enough to go ahead and access everything, and then we can pull everything out. All right, so I went ahead and started taking the relay module and this apart, so we should be good there. Just gonna cut those zip ties. I know it's hard to see. Okay. So that can come out, this can come out. Oh, I did zip tie that too. This comes out. Won't be reusing that, so we'll be okay. More. Alright, so I've got most of the iWire dual pump kit out. So I've got the factory control module plugged back in so I can get this back together and we'll be good to kind of clean out this area. So I'll pop that in there. I'll be right back. Alright, pull out the fuel hat. That one's good. That one's good. And that one's good. We're golden. Alright, so we got pretty much a clean setup. So let's remove this, 'cause we won't be using this. Okay. Alright, so we've got the whole iWire dual pump kit removed. And we've got the fuse or the breaker removed also, and the wires. So we got a fresh start here in the back. And then we've got a fresh start with the pumps also. So we do have the radium dual pump. I've got no power and ground set up to the pumps right now. Just the signal wires. And we'll go ahead and get this where we need to be. We'll install the wiring from here to the back. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and install that leash component. That's going to be back here where the power and ground is going to run basically to it. And then the switch wires from the module to the M-Tron is going to be running from all the way from the back all the way to the front. So we'll actually get that mounted first and orient it the direction we want to make sure that all the wires clean, and then we'll run all the wires to that as we see fit. All right, so here is the module. It's nice, simple, easy to use. So you got 2 fuses that go here. I still got to pick those up. You've got larger relays here. This is good for dual 70 amps, which we probably won't be using all of them, but at least we'll have that. So these 2 go to the fuel pump each. Power comes in here, and then you've got the control wires here. So we got pump A, pump B, plus and minus, so you can have switched on either one. We're going to ground these and then use the positive to the M-Tron, because most of the outputs on the M-Tron, when you power them, it's fine, but when you shut down the car, most of them rest at ground. So we don't want to use the ground as switch, because when we shut the car off, it would turn this on. So we're going to run the ground to the body and then run the 2 positive wires to the M-Tron and have that control that. So we'll probably do it something like that. Actually, we'll reverse it. Something like that. Yeah, and then we'll have these come out, and this just go right over there. All right, so I've got the leash there. I've got these longer screws. First one's gonna go there, and we'll just drill this side. And we're mounted. So we're good there. Now just going to run 2 power wires, big power wire. All right, so I've got most of the power and ground, actually all of the power and ground wires here, all braided up, and I've got some labels on here. So pump 2, 12 volts. This one's pump 1, 12 volts, and pump 1 ground, and then this should be pump 2 ground. So the 2 grounds will be kind of ran together. I did not terminate the other ends. I'm just going to get this ran installed with the top hat, and then I can cut these for length on however long I need those. So let's go ahead and get this installed in the car. We'll wrap up the fuel hat, we'll run all this backwards, and then adjust the length as needed. Pump 2. Last one. Okay. All right. Now we can adjust these wires to fit accordingly. So pump 1 ground. It's this one. All right, so I've got all 4, or 2 power, 2 ground for both pumps ran in here. I kind of coiled it around the pump to give it a little bit of a runway, so that way I don't have any hard kinks. I've got all of the wires in here like normal. So now I'll go ahead and put this cover on, put this where it needs to be, try to keep these wires exactly as I ran. I did zip tie them, so should be good there, and then we'll get this part buttoned up. Okay, so then we'll slip this. There we go. And we're golden. So then we'll put a zip tie here. Alright, it's tight. Here we go. So we'll go ahead and run these wires back. These are grounds. They're actually going to get grounded right here. So massage these to bend as we need them. And these ones will go to the rear. Oh, I did not. Did not identify which ones these are, so. Oh, actually I did. No, I didn't. This one's actually 1. Yeah, that one's 2 because it's a little bit frayed. I didn't get the end exactly 100%, but we'll be okay. So this one is 1. We are going to be running 22 gauge, yellow and orange. Yellow is going to be pump 1, orange is going to be pump 2. All right, so I've got the turn on harness pretty much made. I still got to run it on the side of the car, but we've got these pinned. Yellow is going to be pump 1, orange is going to be pump 2. We're going to wire those into B20 and 21, right? 20, yeah, 20 and 21. So 20 is going to be pump 1, 21 is going to be pump 2. So we are going to use the safety pin to help push those pins in. Yeah, looks good. Trim this back a little bit. Let's go ahead and get these plumbed up, ran like we want them. go ahead and start with these. Middle is ground, yes. These terminals are super small, and the ones I ordered are a bit too large, so I gotta sand this down just a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, those are good. What I do is I kind of angle the wire this way, so when I tighten it, it brings it back to center. Kind of like that. So we're good there. Ground is done. I've got my 2 control wires. Yellow is 1, which is this one. There's 1 screw. All right, so I've got this kind of ran in between. Probably zip tie these just for cleanliness. That'll work. Okay. Remove all the tools. All right, so that's pretty much wrapped up for the fuel pump stuff. Let's go ahead and get the interior pieces together, and we should be okay. So I got that cover first. Okay. We're good there. Turn on the car. Let's see, config, channels, nope. Output. Function 1. Open up fuel pump. And let's... Let's go ahead and look for fuel leaks real quick. Oh. Yep, we got fuel leaks. All kinds of them. Good Lord. Well, what is leaking? Up here. Did I not tighten that? Probably not. Alright, so we got that tightened up. Let's go ahead and try it again. No more leaks. Yeah, everything looks good. Let's go check the fuel pressure. Fuel pressure, where are we at? Right here, 33.7. So let's go ahead and bump that up. $43.7, so we'll back it off just a little bit. $43.5. We'll call it good for there. You can see we got pump 1 on. So we're good. Alright, so that concludes this project. So we've got our fuel system all wired in. Got our relay module there. I am going to 3D print a cover for that, so that way you can kind of cover these ring terminals. That way we don't have any issues. We still have the cover that goes in on here, right there. Just our rear cover goes over everything. So we'll still have that protection, but I just want to add a little cover on here. Just kind of press fit onto it, just to add that little extra security. Alright guys, that's what I've got for this week. Got the fuel system all wrapped up. We got everything primed, set our fuel pressure, installed our new Leash product. For the relay module, got rid of the iWire dual kit. So now we're just going to move on to the ECU, still get everything talking to each other, hopefully get a base map loaded up, and we should be good to go next time.